Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. This is Lohengram, or Vam, or whatever we're calling the channel at this point. Many years ago, when I was younger, I was very interested in a YouTuber called Total Biscuit, specifically the videos he made on a card game called Hearthstone. That was actually my introduction to card games outside of just watching Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. And Total Biscuit made a lot of fun, very gimmicky decks, because he had the whole collection, and it actually got me into playing Hearthstone. I never got that many Hearthstone cards. I was someone who only played the game for free, so I basically had a small library, and that meant I could never build the kind of decks that I actually really wanted to. But here, we're playing Legends of Runeterra, a game that's actually priced very well, and that I have all the cards for. Thank you, Riot Games. And as a result, I was actually able to build a rather gimmicky deck that had all of the cards that I wanted in it. And what were those cards? They were minions. Big minions. And I call the deck Mr. Big. It is very much a gimmick deck, and we don't want to play it yet, and we don't want to play against the AI. That is for people who are not making YouTube videos. Yes, I'll show you the deck list. So, the gimmick in it is that everything in it is either big or will make things big. So we start out, we have a pair of Omen Hawks. One of the better one-drops in the game. Gives two other allies in your deck, +1/+1. Again, good buff. What's really fun is when you get two of them in a row, because then you give one minion +2/+2, which is very nice. Next is the Yeti Yearling. Pretty alright one-drop. To show you all what it actually does. Last breath, when this dies, it shuffles 2 Enraged Yetis into your deck. This is an Enraged Yeti. That is a 5/5 for 1, and that is amazing value. And it means that people can be a little hesitant to attack you when you have this out, and hesitant to throw out spells that might damage or kill it because they don't want to give you Yetis. That is important because this deck is based around throwing big things at people, and big things cost a lot of mana to play. You're not gonna have a very strong early game with this deck. Next, Avaros and Trapper. I used to not run this. I used to run the Mighty Poro instead. And that was because before they buffed it, Avaros and Trapper was a 2/2 for 3. Not great, you didn't get a lot of momentum out of it, it didn't really block or trade well, and while it would give you Yetis eventually, as when it's summoned, it, creates an enraged Yeti in the top 3 cards of your deck, it just was slower and not as effective as the Might Pour. Now, it's been buffed, it's 3/3 for 3, it trades more effectively, and it gives you Yetis. So, now it's in the deck. Culling Strike. So, again, you're running big minions are expensive, you don't have a lot of board presence early on. The result, so, you need removal. Otherwise, you'll just get murdered by hundreds of little spiders. Or hundreds of little Noxians. And burn aggrots. Words. Point is, Culling Strike is very good for stopping yourself from getting swarmed early. Like, your enemy throws down a Zed, you respond with a Culling Strike because he won't have the mana to protect the Zed. Your enemy drops an Ezreal, you immediately kill it, before the Ezreal can do the horrible Ezreal thing of murdering you in one turn. Whirling Death. Wow, I only have 2 Whirling Deaths apparently. Okay, that's a surprise to me. Again, more removal to help you get preferential trades. This scales better into the late game than Culling Strike does, which is why I have it. Sometimes you're not able to get the trades that you want, Whirling Death helps you to get those trades. And it can help some weaker minions trade up when they don't have any right to. Wording Stones. Okay, I run 3 of these in this deck, that's 3 more than anyone else runs. Because, well, it's not a good card. It's helpful, like, it gives you acceleration, it gives you extra mana to play more things. But it's 0/4, it used to be 0/3 until they buffed it. And you didn't really see it run outside of a niche role in Anivia decks or Karma decks, because those are champions that level up when you hit full mana. But here it's really useful, and it actually combos really well with some things. For example, you drop Wording Stones on turn 3, all of a sudden you can play, where is it? You drop an Avaros and Hearthguard on turn 4, and then you can drop another one on turn 5, and that seriously buffs the rest of your deck, and things get very interesting after that. Getting +1/+1 on anything in this deck is good. Getting +2/+2 on anything in this deck is amazing. Avalanche. Great board clear. And dear god, is it useful. Deal 2 damage to all units. Again, this deck is all about throwing out big, high-quality minions, and as a result, you don't have that many of them, at least not early. You need this to deal with things like spiders, and with Legion Marauders. No, Legion Rearguards. Marauders are going to be another issue. Or at least they would be if anyone ran them. Legion Veteran. I used to run Bull Elnuks in this deck. I took them out once I realized Legion Veteran was just, better Bull Elnuk. It has the exact same stat line while also having an effect that buffs damage. Very useful, very much worth having. Trifarian Assessor. Only one of these. In general, in Legends of Runeterra, card draw is not that great. You have very few ways of drawing extra cards, and the ways you do have tend to be very conditional. I end up throwing Trifarian Assessor in, not because I use it that frequently, but because it can be helpful. Most of your minions are actually above 5 damage, or can be easily buffed to be above 5 damage, so you can actually, if you've burned through most of your hand somehow, you can refresh it, and that can be very helpful. Avaros and Hearthguard. I only have 2 of these in the deck, but I'm considering taking something out to put a 3rd one in. This is really good. This is actually, I think, one of the best cards in the game. As you see, when it's summoned, you grant every other minion in your deck +1/+1. That is incredibly good. And again, combos well with Wording Stones, and trades well. It's a 5/5 or 5. It's literally just a very good card. One of the better Freljord cards. Catalyst of Aeons. Now this is ramp that people actually do tend to run, because it also has a heal attached to it. I only run one of them, just in case I take a bit of damage early on. I don't particularly like this card, it's not bad, it's 5 mana for a very small heal and a mana gem. And unlike Hearthstone, where if you have excess mana, you're allowed to draw an extra card, you get no compensation for using this at full mana. So after turn 10, this becomes a 5 mana heal your Nexus for 3, which is kind of awful. Kind of completely awful. Rhymetusk Shaman, I can already hear what you're thinking. That's not a big minion, that's the opposite of a big minion. It's a small minion that costs big mana. Well, yes, but this card is also kind of overpowered? I want to say it's overpowered. It's very good. It's at the start of the round, Frostbite the strongest enemy. Frostbite, as you can see, sets a unit's power to 0. Now, to give you an idea of how that's good, let's look up what does Frostbite in this game. Brittle Steel, Frostbite an enemy with 3 or less health, but Flash Freeze, Frostbite any enemy. That is a 3 mana spell. This is a 5 mana minion, and every turn it gives you an additional 3 mana of value. This is very, very good. And it also has some very good combo potential. For example, say your opponent drops, an enemy that has 9 attack, and you have Rhymetusk Shaman on the field. Rhymetusk will Frostbite it, and now it has 0 attack. You know what kills 0 attack minions? Culling Strike, because it has less than 3 attack. And, well, it's good. So, 2 of them, again, you need the control just to help yourself survive so you can start throwing out the really big, juicy things. But, yeah. I can see why you would take these out. They aren't exactly big minions, but they're very helpful, and they can become big minions. Again, I've pulled 5/5 Shamans out, and even a 6/6 once, because of the Hearthguards and the Omen Hawks. Alright, next is the Trifarian Shieldbreaker. I used to not think this card was that good, and if I'm being completely honest, it's probably not that good, but In this deck, it's not actually too bad. Again, you can get it out on turn 4 with Wording Stones, you can get it buffed easily with the Hearthguard or the Omen Hawks, and it tends to actually trade quite well, especially when you get it out early. You can use it defensively to kill a bunch of little minions, and it's fearsome, which means that little minions can't block it. So it tends to always trade into valuable things. Alpha Wildclaw. I used to think that this was the core hound of Legends of Runeterra, except this is actually a good card. So a 7/6 for 6 with Overwhelm. That means any unit that blocks it is going to take... Basically, any unit that blocks it, that doesn't block it with 7 health, is going to not block the full damage. I explained that so bloody poorly. So poorly. You'll see how it goes. Battery and Ram. Another card that you don't actually see a lot of, well, I mean, you don't see a lot of many high-cost Noxus cards, because Noxus is, I believe, considered one of the weaker regions. But it has absolutely massive health and can gain absolutely massive attack, which is why it's in this deck. It's also surprisingly good for other reasons. Like, this is a really high stat minion. It can block really well. Like, think of this. Other big minions that you see run occasionally, stuff like Wild Claws, stuff like Tryndamirs, they don't have more than 12 attack, which means the Battering Ram will completely no-sell them. It's quite good for just that, and if you can keep it on the field for a while, it can get a lot of damage. Like, the first time you attack with it, it becomes a 4/12, and the second time it becomes an 8/12, and then a 12/12, etc. And as a result, people tend to get a little scared of these things. Like, they might ignore them for the first turn, but they will start to throw removal at them like crazy afterwards. Like, you will... I've seen people sink literally 3 Wills of Ionia into a single Battering Ram. It is hilarious. Darius. He doesn't look like much. He's a 6/5 for 6, but when he levels up, yes, 10/5 for 6. It's like... I tend to be careful when I play him, and I try to use him more as a finisher, but he is very good at what he does. You don't need me to tell you that. It's pretty clear that he's good at what he does. Minotaur Reckoner. Not a great card outside of a Yasuo deck, and actually not a great card in this deck, because it has anti-synergy with the Rime Tusk Shaman. The Shaman's Frostbite ability always seems to activate first, and at which point the unit with zero attack becomes the weakest minion, so it gets stunned by the Reckoner. There are a few cases where this is good regardless, like if your enemy has a Braum on the field, the Reckoner will reliably stun the Braum, because the Braum has 0 attack. But mostly he's in this deck because he's a big beefy body, he's a 6/6. So he tends to trade well and he tends to hit hard, and again, you tend to buff him with things like Hearthguards and Omen Hawks. So he goes down as better than a 6/6. At the same time, when the new set drops, he will probably get swapped out for other stuff. Probably Sejuani or maybe the Tusk Raider. Reckoning. No one runs this. I have literally... Well, actually, okay, maybe not no one. I run it, and I think I've seen it maybe once in my entire time of playing Legends of Runeterra. So it's a slow spell that... If you have a 5 power ally on the field, so an ally with 5 damage, it will kill everything with 4 or less power, even if it's yours. This is potentially very powerful, but also very risky to play. Again, you blow up your own stuff, including things like your Shaman, and, well, basically, you blow up everything that costs less than 5 mana in this deck if it's unbuffed. And a few cards that do cost 5 mana. At the same time, though, this will most likely destroy your enemy board. Like, most players do not run a lot of high damage minions, which means this will nuke them. And I've legitimately seen people concede from me playing the Reckoning. From me playing the Reckoning successfully. Then there are the cases where I play the Reckoning and it gets denied, or they manage to do something to play around it and cancel it, and then they laugh. And then I play Avalanche and clear the board anyway, because hilarity. But yes, Reckoning, very good card, very necessary, again, to deal with things like heavy aggro or board flood. And ultimately, you can pretty reliably pull it off in this game because so many of your minions are so good. Oh yeah, also it kills Battering Ram unless you've attacked twice with it. So again, Battering Ram, mixed results. Another reason why not many people run that. Then we have Captain Farron. I am convinced no one runs this. I don't think I have ever seen him run outside of my own deck. And why? Because he's, well, bad. He's very slow for what he does. You're paying 8 mana to drop a single minion, and you are also destroying your own hand. As you can see here, he replaces your hand with Decimates. What is Decimate? It is a spell, a slow spell that costs 5 mana and deals 4 to the enemy Nexus. So yes. He's an 8/8 with Overwhelm. He hits like a truck, but he basically removes your ability to do anything else. And if he gets sent back to your hand or just killed by a vengeance, it's considered a waste of mana. Again, it's not considered a good card, which is what makes it absolutely hilarious when you win with him. And I have won with him a few times, but again, there's a reason I only carry one of him in the deck. Can actually work very well, though. If you have the full mana bank on turn 10 and drop Captain Farron, you can actually end the game. You attack with Farron, play Decimate, that's 12 damage. That is more than half your opponent's total health. That is killer. Drindamere. This is a very good card that is not commonly run, as we've shifted away from more of... He's not commonly run, but he's widely acknowledged as a very good card. As you can see, he's an 8/4 with Overwhelm, and if he die, he just level up instead, at which point he becomes a 9/9 with Fearsome and Overwhelm. And we have Battle Rage, which is basically just to give a friendly minion Trindamere's stats. It's very useful. So yes, 2 of these. This gives you a lot of endgame punch. Like, an ungodly amount of endgame punch and stickiness. It is spectacular. She Who Wanders, another card that you don't see that often. Basically, you play it and you obliterate, as in completely remove from the game, every follower in play or in a player's hand that has 4 less power, including your own. Yes, it can quite easily blow up your own board. There is a lot of anti-synergy in this deck, but overall it still works. Again, this actually can lead to some hilarious combos with the Rime Tusk Shaman. I remember once an opponent played a Ledros when I had a Shaman on the field. The Shaman reduced the Ledros to 0 attack, and then I played She Who Wanders and literally removed it from the game, and it was so satisfying. I still lost that game, but it was still satisfying. And finally, a single War Mother's Call. This is the most expensive spell in the game that I am aware of. At the same time, it is potentially very, very good. It summons the top unit from your deck now and at the start of every round. The reason I only have one of these is, well, A, 12 mana spell, you can't really reliably cast multiple ones, but even then, casting multiple War Mother's Calls tends to actually backfire a little. Like, it sounds amazing, like, you get so much value out of it, you just get 2 free minions every round. But then it's like, oh, unless you're trading those minions away, you're going to start burning your own minions, because you can only have 6 minions on the field. And it's actually possible to mill yourself with this, as you are essentially burning through 3 cards every turn. The card that you draw, and then the 2 cards that the spells play. So, dear God, I have no idea who would run 3 of these in the deck. That would be insane. Yes, that is the full deck list. I will put a link to it in the description of this video, so that other people can try my terrible deck. I have no idea why you would want to. It's not that good. But yes, onward and upward. As you can see, the mana curve is actually very heavy on the 3s and very heavy on the 6s. It'd be, I'd have more cards in the later stages, but there's honestly not that many in the game currently. Like, there are some big minions, and this is why I ran with Freljord/Noxus as my 2 deck factions. I felt that they had the best They had the biggest minions and the best removal between them, and you needed, for this deck to work, both big minions and some control and removal to keep yourself from getting overwhelmed. So yes, without further ado, versus player, let's play this. I could play ranked, but I'm fairly sure every ranked deck right now is a Zed Fiora hybrid deck, and that is going to get very boring very quickly. So we're going to play normals instead. Alright, he is running an Ash Freljord Noxus deck. What would actually be in that? I imagine like a heavy use of Frostbite control like you would normally run Ash in control deck. So, okay. We're tossing She Who Wanders, it's a 10 mana card, you're never going to play that until much later. But we have Wording Stones, we have the Hearthguard, and we have the Trapper, so this is actually pulling a 12-drop on turn 1. Yeah, this is about the best we can hope for, bar maybe some Omen Hawks. So the plan is to drop Wording Stones on turn 3 into Hearthguard. And we will attack. Yes, it's unlikely that he will block an attack with a 1-drop. You might... Because you could use the Omen Hawk to block other things. Ooh, that's tempting. No, play the Wording Stones. The Wording Stones will be better. It just speeds you up so much to drop Wording Stone. We're gonna pass. We're gonna pass and gamble that he won't attack us. Because that wolf will kill my stones, because it has 0 attack, and the wolf kills anything it hits with 0 power. But if we play the Omen Hawk, then I can't play the stones. So we're gonna wait for him to attack. And he passed. Okay. I am genuinely surprised. Ooh, but we have some fun of our own here. Double Omen Hawk. Well, I played 1 minion, so now he gets to go, but the moment he goes back to me, I can play 2nd Omen Hawk. Okay, that's terrifying. Things that I can't kill. A 6/4 Ash is one of them.
Show me a target.
Yes, you don't want to kill the Yeti, that will give me more Yetis. I think it's worth it. Like, you'll kill the Hearthguard, but I'll still get the buffs out of it. It's a hard choice. It is a hard choice. Also, beta is beta, apparently. That is such a good combo. Do we drop the Avalanche instead? If I drop the Avalanche instead, I kill my own board, and then he hits me for 11. So, no, that feels like the wrong call. Trapper, maybe? Legion Veteran. No, we're going with the Hearthguard. Screw it. Not a great situation to be in either way.
Swiftly now.
Today we fight as one.
3/7 Warding Stones. That is actually hilarious. Oh my god, no, that is actually totally playable as well. Yes, so let's see, drop that. That gives us 5 mana left to play with. Oh god. That card. And Avalanche doesn't even kill it because it's been Hearthguarded. Ah. That's painful.
The trap is set.
Do we attack here? No. Because attacking here accomplishes basically nothing. Yeah, we don't attack here. Will he open attack? I imagine he will. I would open it, yes, and he is.
Show them the might of Noxus. Remember why we fight.
Our banner will lead the way.
And he's gonna kill the Warden Stones, okay. That is unfortunate. But we need to kill the drummer. Like, I would block the card. God damn it. If I block the Hearthguard, then that means that when I Avalanche this turn, it will kill the Hearthguard, which is good. At the same time, the drummer needs to die. Because that's going to just... God damn. Hard choices. We have Catalyst. We can eat a 5 damage hit. Killing the Legion drummer is going to give him more value in the long run. I'm going to kill the drummer. In before he frostbites the Trapper and the Trapper just died. Nope, there we go. Alright. Catalyst into Avalanche. The Catalyst might have been a mistake there. I probably should have played the Legion Veteran after the Avalanche, of course, but I don't know, who knows? I might draw an Avalanche off the top of the deck. Oh god, he had another one! No! Kill a unit with 3 or less power. Useless here. So spectacularly useless.
The young fight for glory. I fought for legacy.
And this is why this deck is actually flawed. As even with drawing the right amount of acceleration, it's very possible just to end up in a situation like this, where you don't have the removal or the minions to deal with what's in front of you. In fairness, Ash plus Rhymefang Wolf is kind of the ideal situation for a deck like what he's running. Like, that is guaranteed to kill things.
Swiftly now.
Barbarossans, stand together.
On the bright side, though... Yes. On the bright side, because I don't lose the mana gem immediately, we can cast this now, and then we can cast a Yeti. You summon a Yeti, you cast spells. Alright, here's... That is pretty nice! Also, we also had really bad luck with the draws, I just realized, because... we played 2 Omen Hawks, and then we drew mostly spells. Yes! Yes! Big minions! Kill everything he has.
Stand and defend.
In before Harsh Winds. He had Harsh Winds.
My aim is true.
Do I kill the wolf or do I kill the ash? I might not be able to kill either of them if we're being completely honest with ourselves, but we will try. We need to kill the ash. It's a leveled up ash. It's going to give him way too much value. I want to kill the wolf, but killing the ash is more important. In before Flash Freeze. He had it! I knew it!
Time is right. Strike
It's
now.
the first law of Legends of Runeterra is the Freljord player always has Flash Freeze. The second law of Legends of Runeterra is that the Ionian player always has Deny. Kill me. He's about to, by the way. And that is game, because I can't do anything about his board. I mean, if I draw... You know, that's actually kind of disappointing. If only because had I played that, it would have killed his goddamn wolf. Alright, that's GG. Well, at least he's a nice person who GG's and doesn't spam the wrong emote. Alright. That was disappointing. I don't want to show you guys this deck being disappointing. I want to show you this deck kicking ass and taking names. So we're going to play a couple more and see what happens. Alrighty, a Darius Noxus Piltover deck. What would he be running? Like, normally when you see Noxus paired with Piltover, it's a Jinx, Draven, Burn deck. You don't normally see Darius in that. Elusives? No, Piltover doesn't have enough elusives. What would you be running in? That with just Darius as your champion. Like, Piltover is not renowned for its minion quality. Maybe it's only a few Piltover cards and mostly Noxian cards. That could be a possibility. On, play the Legion not the Legion Marauder. Oh, he has a Saboteur. It is still an aggro deck, okay, good to know. This deck actually has some mixed results with aggro. It comes down to draw. Like, if the aggro player has perfect draw, they will overwhelm and kill you, but they will do that to you with any deck. That's why aggro is infuriating. What I found is that so long as your draws are all right and you're getting your removal, you can actually take most aggro decks. It'll be close, but you can take them. Control decks like the one we just fought against, it depends just on... It just depends on too many factors. Depends on how many control spells they're able to pull out. Depends on what cards you're able to get out. Like, I've burnt out control decks just by having too many minions for them to actually freeze. Like, yeah, they'll freeze my big minions, but then my big minions will just attack again next turn. The guy last time just had the optimal scenario of getting the Rime Fang Wolves out early. Trapper. You see why I don't run like 3 of any of these now, right? Like, just getting hands like this. Do we attack here? No. Because he'll just block with the Grenadier. God damn. Boom Crew Rookie, you are getting Culling Striked immediately. Yes, attack, deal 2 damage to the enemy nexus. That card is actually pretty good. Well, pretty good. It's an alright card. Oh, god damn it. Ugh.
Just gonna put this here. What do we have here? Over there.
We're gonna Whirling Death this. I don't want to take 6 damage from it. I need to block this, but I also don't want to give him any more spells. And, you know, I don't want to take 8 damage to the face with this, god damn. 9 damage, he actually has, you know, enough to do it a bit more.
Save me, Luke. They walked around.
Alright, now we're starting to scale up. We got Yetis.
Let me show you what I can do.
Trust me, I know what you can do. I don't want to see it.
Death doesn't scare me.
Second Whirling Death. Normally I do like to save those, but given the situation we're in, he's running low on cards, he had low mana, I want to keep this alive to kill the Crimson Disciple.
My turn.
Catalyst of Aeons. I need the heal. Now, he does have buff cards, he could probably still kill the Yeti, and he will. However, Noxian and Piltover buff cards don't buff health, they only buff attack.
What you do. This hurts.
And he has a Legion Rearguard, okay. And we have a Tryndamere, okay. You have a Legion Rearguard, I have a Tryndamere. God has a plan. In before he still murders me.
I'm not sneaky, I'm dynamic.
And I'm dynamite.
Alright, the question is, does he full attack me?
Smells like opportunity.
Alright, he does.
Try me.
I don't trust him to not have some buff card. He does. And I believe that's game. Yes, it is. Unfortunate. That was my own mistake. I should have dropped the Avalanche instead of dropping the Tryndamere. So, that one was on me, but that was the fault of the player, not the deck. We will get a win out of this, I believe. I believe in the power of big minions. And an Ezreal drinks deck. Yay, more aggro. Hopefully this guy will have fewer buffs. Okay, Omen Hawk we're definitely keeping. Wild Claw will toss. Do I want to keep the Shaman? No. No, I don't. Toss them for more useful early things. Word instant. Yeah, this is not great, but this is better. Whirling Death. It's a good card, it's just not that great early. At least not with the kind of minions you have in this deck. Because the early minions don't really... that's always nice. Your early minions are stuff like Omen Hawks and Yeti Yearlings. They don't... like... A Whirling Death is not going to be helpful on a minion like that. It doesn't do enough damage. What could you... He has a Mystic Shot, doesn't he? Okay, he's not gonna... That's good. It would have been a waste of a Mystic Shot. It's the third rule of Legends of Runeterra. The Piltover and Zon player always has Mystic Shot. Turn 3... It's probably going to be Wording Stones. I mean, it can't be anything else, in fairness. We'll see. We might draw a Trapper. If we draw a Trapper, I'll play that instead. It's just more efficient use of map. It's a Tryndamere. Okay. That is not a It's not a Trapper. At least not the kind that we want. Passed. We play Wording Stones. This is looking alright. And we'll gain bonus mana next turn that we can bank while dropping the buffed up Legion Veteran. Okay. Now normally, you'd be surprised, I don't normally see people throw a lot of removal at Wording Stones. Like, I try to when I see them, but I don't actually often... you don't normally see people throw them at it. I guess it's because, like, the effect, while powerful, is not immediately impactful. Like, you know, you see a guy running Zed and Freljord in a deck, you'll probably save a Culling Strike for the Zed and not the Wording Stone. Well, he's definitely playing an Ezreal deck. This is basically how they run. They do nothing. They drop no minions, they just target your minions with spells. It's irritating.
Rules are made to be broken, like buildings. Or
And
people.
that's terrifying. But we have Whirling Death, which is actually a really good way of dealing with Jinx. Omen Hawk or Legion Veteran? Legion Veteran's the more efficient use of mana, but Omen Hawk is a useful buff.
I've embarrassed fools twice your size.
Okay, let's think about what he could do to actually stop this from happening. He's not running Ionia, so there's no chance of Deny. He's not running Demacia, so there's no chance of Barrier. Actually, I don't even need to Whirling Death. I just win this unless he buffs the Jinx. Yeah, let's actually do that. We'll just let him hit the thing. If he buffs the Jinx, then I will counter with Whirling Death, because I'll have the option to do that if he casts a spell. And if he doesn't buff the Jinx, then I trade regardless. Yeah. Smarter decision making, and then afterwards I play the Omen Hawk and the Legion Veteran. Yep, so now he's burned multiple cards, and he's going to waste that spell. Well, I mean, he's still going to do 3 damage with it, but... Alright. By all means, you know, play another Get Excited. I'll throw another Whirling Death at you. Ah, yes. All according to plan. Omen Hawk or Legion Veteran? Omen Hawk. We bank the mana. And odds are we'll be able to play whatever's next in the deck. Like, it's most likely going to be a 5 or a 6 drop.
Just you and me.
He had all 3 Jinxes in his hand. Wow. Ah, yes. I'll play that, and I have enough for Whirling Death. You can concede any time, my friend. Oh wait, no, that's too cocky. He's gonna get good draws now because I said that.
What's the worst that could happen?
Discard your hand, draw 3, deal 3 to an enemy unit. I have not seen Augmented Experimenter in a long time. And by long time, I mean outside of Expedition. Okay, yeah, good play on his part. Leveled up the Jinx. We're not super screwed yet, because we still have the Whirling Death. Do we attack? Yes! Super Mega Death Rocket, what does that actually do? Both the enemy access and 1 to all other enemies. Yeah, we attack, because he only has 1 mini on the field, and it means that... Yeah, this is the correct decision. I am fairly sure this is the correct decision. We won't spend the Whirling Death on this. It's a waste of a Whirling Death. We'll save that for the next time his Jinx attacks.
Now it's a party.
Which won't be this turn. Farron! Yay, I'm not playing you to the... yet. What do we play here? Tryndamere, maybe? No, I can't play Tryndamere. I have 7 mana. Like... oh. That's what we get for being cocky. Veteran or Darius? Veteran or Darius? I think Darius...
I'll handle this myself.
And he threw a thermogenic beam. Should have played the veteran. And now he clears my board. Wait, no, he doesn't. Shouldn't he have the rocket in hands? Ah, spell. No, it's fleeting. Huh. I want to play the shaman, but the shaman's too slow. Tryndamere. Tryndamere.
For the thrill of battle.
Shaman and veteran will be next turn. Oh my god, I hate you so much. Rule number 4. The Noxian player always has Arachnoid Sentry. There's no point attacking with the Hawks. That being said, Tryndamere will actually kill Jinx. She has quick attack, so she'll hit him first, but remember, Tryndamere levels up when he dies, so he'll just hit her back harder and kill her. It's the very nice thing about Tryndamere. It's a very useful minion. Well, champion. See, I don't get it. Why would you run Ezreal with Jinx? Jinx is based around burning cards in your hand. I mean, I suppose Ezreal benefits a lot from having really cheap spells. I just feel like with Ezreal, you want to build a large hand of cheap spells so you can unload them all in one turn, whereas Jinx wants to have a very small hand that she can consistently empty. Come on. Hit me. This move. Oh, now he's gonna hit me.
Don't blink or you'll miss me.
That's okay. I never blink.
Let's see. What do we want to play? No, because we want to keep the Whirling Death because we have no other way of hitting the Ezreal. Play Veteran.
Young fight for glory. I fought for legacy.
In before, again, second Arachnoid Sentry. I know he has it. He definitely has it. I'm 100% sure he has it. Same time, can he 100 to Omi with Ezreal?
I don't want to.
Alright, yes. This is exactly what we were hoping he would do. Tryndamere will kill the Ezreal and then the Jinx. And I don't think there's a Noxian or a Piltover card that can debuff the Tryndamere or buff the Ezreal enough for the Ezreal to survive this. Yes! Success! All according to plan! We're going to pretend that, you know, I didn't have this exact same reaction last game, and then didn't immediately, and, you know, lost immediately afterwards. We're going to pretend that wasn't the case. That being said, this is a pretty good situation to be in.
Don't blink or you'll miss
Yes, get immediately frostbolted, Ezreal. Well, once the next round starts.
Ice runs in our veins.
She Who Wanders, yes, blow up your hand and most of your own board, Lohengrin. That'll be a smart decision. That'll be a very smart decision.
No sweat.
Alright. Okay, you kill that.
Firing.
Do I play Farron here, is the question. Do we play Farron? I think no, I think we save Farron for next turn. No, now we play Farron. We don't play She Who It's a bad choice either way, because playing Farron tosses She Who Wanders, But we want the Rhyme Tusk Shaman to stay alive. We don't want his Ezreal to be able to attack us, because it will give him a Mystic Shot. So we're going to play Farron, and we will kill him next turn with Decimates. Yeah, I can't kill the Ezreal with She Who Wanders. She Who Wanders does not affect champions. So...
Chills up my spine.
Oh, hello, Tryndamere. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the best play. Yeah, he only has 2 spells in hand. Yeah, that's not going to do anything, mate. So, my point was proven true because, again, there's no way the Ezreal can actually kill me with his hand size, and he's just going to die now to Decimate. GG, my friend. You fought honorably. Not only did we get a win, we got a win with Captain Bloody Farron. I feel like that is worth being on YouTube. Alright. And 200 experience. Play one more, see if we can get an even rate of games with this deck. 2 losses, 1 due to draw, 1 due to me messing up, and a win due to me playing well and my opponent having a worse deck than I did. That is a deck that runs Demacia and Shadow Isles with no champions. Oh my god, is that the Ledros Atrocity deck? Please don't let that be the Ledros Atrocity deck. Game. This is not okay. I mulliganed those cards for a reason.
What does he want from me?
He wants your death. He wants your spirit. He wants a whole lot of things. Thresh is kind of a greedy individual. Okay, that's odd. Wording Stones? Whirling Death. Yeah, this is a real danger at this deck, and this is what loses me most of my games, is when I have a hand like this, where it's just a dead turn because I didn't draw any of my acceleration or any of my low-cost cards. This is why, ideally, you only have a few big minions in a deck, not several. Because this is going to remain a dead turn until 5. Oh, hi, Trapper.
Get in my way.
He has no champions, so this is actually worth spending, I'm gonna say. Because even if I can pull the combo with Rhyme Tusk Shaman in this to kill his Ledros, Ledros will just go back to his hand. I need to play that with She Who Wanders for it to actually be worthwhile.
A worthy end. Took the bait.
And next turn, we'll drop the Hearthguard, and the turn after that will be Battering Ram.
Tide of war.
Hearthguard.
Our strength is yours. One life
Undying. That was silly.
Avarosans, stand together. So little to ask.
But yes, I hope you can kind of see the value of Battering Ram in a situation like this. Like, that is going to be able to block a lot, and because it has no damage of its own, it will be able to block his Undyings without proccing their own death, and, well, yes. It never leaves. Oh, She Who Wanders. That's actually going to be really good for dealing with this deck.
Stand and defend.
Do we want to Whirling Death? No. Actually, I think we probably want to Rhyme Tusk here, not Battering Ram. Like, had he not open attack, I'd battering ram, but since he did, we're gonna get Rhyme Tusk. She'll get blown up by She Who Wanders, but it keeps us alive for 4 turns.
They never stop.
It might get blown up by She Who Wanders.
Send chills up my spine.
Oh, hi 6'6" Yeti, you'll be very helpful. I think we play the battering ram anyway here. In before Ruination. This deck can actually survive Ruinations pretty well. Like, the quality of your minions is so much higher than most of your opponents that... Do we Hearthguard? No. We just throw the battering ram out. Because the Hearthguard will just trade for his Warden Spray, and we don't want that. We want it to trade for something else. See, I would have blocked with the Redeemer. I wouldn't have blocked with the Butcher.
Justice will be
Yeah, I still would have blocked with the Redeemer and not the Butcher. And he can no longer do the... He can't throw out Ruination anymore, so we'll drop the Yeti. And before he somehow manages to cast 5 mana Ruination, just to punish me. Clever, clever. Infuriatingly clever. Very infuriatingly clever. Does he have Barrier, I wonder? I'm unfamiliar with what his deck actually is, so...
Gotta get out of here!
We strike!
This is our homeland!
Can I... There's nothing I can block that with that won't kill it, is the thing.
Injustice!
Alright, we're gonna drop the Wording Stones. That'll let us play She Who Wanders next turn. I'll open attack with the Battering Ram and the Hearthguard. Oh, that's deeply unfortunate. Alright, War Mother's Call. In before he gives me an Omen Hawk. Actually, Omen Hawk would be alright. I can use that to block the Undying. He probably has the ability to beat me now. Oh, he has Atrocity, doesn't he? Yes, yes, we get it, we get it. You're a horrible human being. Yeah, he has Atrocity. Well, that would have killed me regardless. GG. It gave me Wording Stones. Yes. You play War Mother's Call, you spend your entire mana pool, and it pulls Wording Stones. Oh, that's worth a laugh in its own right there. Alright. It's been 4 games. I'm going to bet it's been about 50 minutes now. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you for sitting through it. Thank you for sitting through this video. Enjoy your day. And have a good night.